All right, guys, after fishing on the boat for probably 6 months now, I finally have the Multi-Bar rod rack system on the boat. Grayson and I got out the other night, installed it, figured out a place to put it. I think we've got a good starting point for the rod position on it. It's an infinite number of positions you can put the rods in. I've got basically 3 rod holders on each one. We're gonna try it out today, see how it works, see what I need to adjust. I brought a whole set of tools with me to make adjustments with, so let's get them baited up and see what we can do. All right, the first one, the big ones, these big rattles from Hooker's Terminal Tackle. We're gonna put the bigger baits on those. You'll know them by the bigger hooks and the bigger baits and the bigger floats. We're gonna put those out. Carolina Lake weights, put them on the bottom. Rod's out. We're gonna put that one in the holder. First one in the rod holder. Let's see how it works. This one, smaller bait, we're gonna put chicken out. We've had rain for the first time in months. We're gonna do a little experimenting to see what's what. If you're keeping track, anything with a peg float on it is gonna have the chicken baits on it. Big piece of chicken. That is bigger than I normally drag. I generally like smaller chicken, but what the heck, let's put out a big piece, see what happens. Just remember, that's on the blue reel if we catch one. These on, get them in position. This one is actually gonna have a chicken bait on it too. So if you see that one, it is a rattling float. It is gonna have chicken on it, just for the record, so we all know what's going on. Just trying to really do some prospecting to figure out where fish are today. I think things have changed. Been off the water a couple days, had some stuff going on. Ran a guy trip right before the rains came. We smoked the fish, so let's see what happens today. All right, guys, I've been sitting here for about a minute with a fish on this outside planer board. It's pulled back into the deeper water here. I just wanted to see how the Multi-Bar was gonna do with a fish pulling on it. Seeing how wobbly it was, no wobble. Actually probably let it swim into a bunch of other gear that I shouldn't have, which was probably not smart, but I want to see how it performed. I want to see how these things do. Like I said, they're pretty dang stiff. We've got 4 bolts, a backing plate behind it on this one. Depending on your configuration, you may have to do that or you may not. Yeah, pretty solid. No problem with the hookup on this fish. Seems like a decent fish. Here's my real test. I think it's going to be a lot more helpful here with getting in and out of these rods. We will see. I think just the lifting and moving and everything else is going to be easier, especially if I've got a guy trip client on the boat. We'll talk in a minute about why I have it configured this way. Now we got them in between all the lines. We got all the room here to work. Fish was way back over here. Made a run to the river channel where I'm at. Boat's kind of in the channel. Those were pulled up out of the channel, those outside boards. I don't think he's a giant, but he's not little either. All right, here's what I wanted to see right here. Is the ease with which, that's what I'm talking about. Ease with which you can get underneath those rods. Before it was a little more of a twist and herky-jerky kind of thing. This is a little bit better here. I'm liking this better. Give these things a shot here. Straight up and down underneath the boat at this point. Fun fish, fun size, especially these medium action rods here. Got about 30-pound line, a little more than we need, but gives us some security. I think I'm gonna be happy with this fish. This will be the first test of the Multi-Bar. Boy, he is swimming, swimming, swimming. Looks like he's about 10 feet down. Just blue bubbles. He's sucking some line. Heck yeah. Wintertime fishing. This is as good as it gets right here. Oh yeah, there he is. There he is. Dark fish. Dark fish. Get in that net. Get in that net. Ooh. Miss on the net. Behind the head. Boom. That one I'm happy to have. Let's take a look at him. Heck yeah. Nice one in the teens there. Man, he fought. Look at that dark color. That's interesting. That was on a piece of chicken, by the way. Small cork is the chicken. Nice fish. 14, 15-pound fish. Dark color, which is interesting for this time of the year. Of course, we do have clear water. I got a feeling this fish has been up shallow. It's a pretty fish. Good looking blue cat. Heck yeah. First one on the Multi-Bar. She worked like a charm. Let's get her back alive. All right, so the reason I configured the rod holders this way, and the reason I like these, is because I like having access to the motor area of the boat for a couple of reasons. One, if there's a problem with the motor, I can get back there, have easy access to it to deal with something. The other thing is the fishability. I fish with drift socks a lot. I'm putting drift socks out the back of the boat. I'm also putting anchors out the back of the boat. Eventually, no matter how I try to do the right thing, I'm going to get one stuck in the motor, maybe in the prop, something like that. And having access to get back there very quickly and easily is a big help. Pulling in anchors, it's a lot easier. So I'm not a big fan of the rod holding bars that span the back of the boat, because you're either having to go over them or underneath them to get to something. I also have some hatches back here that I want access to get into. So these fit the way I fish very, very well by design. Some things, though, the way they're designed, you just don't know how they perform in actually the real world. So that's what I'm giving them a try here. I'm giving them a shot, seeing how they work. So far, that fish, that worked pretty good. That rod holder did not move. I probably don't have these nuts on the rod holders cranked down as tight as I need to. I'll torque them on down once I'm happy with the position. So far, I'm liking this. And we'll go into a little more detail, too, in a minute about the rod holders themselves and a few tips if you decide to get some to keep in mind once you put them on your boat. Boom, there's a good bite. And a little test here, that rod holder spun around. That nut is not tight enough on the bottom there. That brings me to a point that I'll talk about here in a second after we get this fish landed. Let's get a look at it though. Oh, there you go, there you go, there you go. It's a better fish. That may be why he pulled it around the way he did. Now, I think that's a little captain failure. I'll go into some explanation on that and some other little points about the rod holders themselves. Fish, good fish, good fish. He's a pulling. Dang, this may be a better fish than the last one. It's not on fire bite-wise, but there's a lot of bait where I'm at. And I mean a pile of it on the, ooh, he feels heavy. The board's out of the water and he still feels big. Good feeling fish here, guys. This one feels nice. Typical winter bite. It's not on fire. It's not crazy. No matter how big this fish is, it's going to be a good fish. It's not a small fish. It may not be a giant, but still a good fish. Not sure which bait this was in this on. I've got the bait staggered. I got a little bit of chicken, a little bit of cut bait. We'll know by the float that is on here. Easing him up, fooling into the top. We'll stay down. I think this is only about 12 feet down. Looking at the sonar. Nice fish. Hoop, 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 hoop. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Come on, baby. Come on. I'm nursing him a little bit here. See bubbles back there. It could be a better one. See color. This is a big fish. This is a big, big fish. Oh gosh. That is a pig. It came on a piece of chicken. Remember the yellow float that I said, hey, this is the one rattle float that has chicken? That's what this is on. Oh, gracious. That's the one I was looking for. It's a big fish, guys. I'm gonna put a scale on that one. You haven't seen one of these. Scale made by Rig Wrap, the people who make my tackle storage stuff. Pretty good little scale. Pretty accurate too. It's on the money. This one is gonna be 42 pounds, guys. We will take that all day long. It's a good fish. Looking for a big one. We got it. That is a good fish. That one is a good one. Ooh, look at that. Holy moly. Look at that fish, guys. That is a bruiser. Look at that. Long fish. Checking it for a tag. No tag in it. That's a big one. Big one. 42 pounds. We'll take that all day long. So yeah, what happened there, guys, it had nothing to do with the MulTbar. The MulTbar did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was where the rod holder threaded in to the MulTbar. Anytime you have a rod holder on the port side of a boat using traditional threads, you really have to torque down those rod holders that are especially facing perpendicular to the hull of the boat, because they will get pressure put on them and you have to make sure those locking nuts are really cranked down. I didn't do a good job on that one. The starboard side, not quite as important, because when it has weight pulling on it, it is actually tightening the thread instead of pulling to the loosening direction. And what I was going to tell you about the multi-bars is, don't be afraid to crank these bolts down that go into this thing, these adjustment bolts. They are big. They are designed to be torqued on. You have to crank them down once you get it set in position and put as tight a twist on it as you can get. Torque them down, put some pressure on them. There's a little Allen nut in there that you can also tighten down to help it bite, but don't be afraid to put some pressure on them. These things are designed to take it. You can tell when you pick one up, they are heavy. This is heavy metal, heavy aluminum, and the bolts that go through there are very heavy, and they're designed to have some pressure put on them, so don't be afraid to tighten them down. These seem to be torqued down pretty good. Part of it has to do with the direction. Mine are actually leaning in and the weight's pulling out, so that helps a lot depending on which direction you got them facing, how you're fishing. You know, you're going to want to make sure they're tightened down really, really good. But hey, that was an amazing fish. That's one of the bigger fish I've actually caught on camera this year. We've had some on guide trips that were bigger, but that is a good fish. I have not busted the 50-pound mark this year on a guide trip or on video. We've had a big blue that was 48 pounds that was caught in January earlier this year. We had a huge flathead that was 46 pounds. We've had some other ones in the mid 40, 45, 44 range. I have not broke 50 pounds, kind of what I'm looking for today. That's why I have these bigger baits out here. But dude, that was another one on a piece of chicken. The first fish on a piece of chicken. So they're eating the chicken. I got the big baits out there hoping one will hit it. Maybe we'll get one, who knows. But good test of the multi-bar, and it's definitely stiff enough to set these circle hooks into these fish's jaws. Guys, I think there's one on this outside planer board. A very, as I call it, reluctant bite, but feels decent. A little more in line with some of the bites we've had recently on some trips where they were just not slamming the bait. That'll happen sometimes. I'll let this one go on back. That was on the rod holder that slipped earlier. I got my wrenches with me, tightened it down, seemed to hold better that time. Really put a good torque in on it. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Again, it's always on the port side, especially when you're trolling. If it's pulling that way, they're probably not going to slip. But when you're trolling, rods are going that way, you got the rod going out that way, it's got enough leverage to make it slip if you really don't torque them down. The other option is to get reverse threads, which they may do. I don't know if they do or not, but that would help it. But that's a big old pain in the butt because then the rod holders have to be reverse thread. I just prefer to torque them down. Now this is the planer board that was on the inside the last time. I let it go to the outside. That one had chicken on it. I got a feeling this one has cut bait on it. I think we may have finally got a fish here on cut bait. It's almost coming in like he's wrapped sideways or something. Yep. And he may be. Let's see here. Decent fish though. Decent fish. There he is. Turn back, boom. In the net. Another double-digit fish in the teens. The old Tyson chicken net cam with a good view of him. You can see that rattle. That was one of the big ones. Big hook in there. Had the big bait on it. Not sure if this one was a body chunk or, oh, we're going to find out. That's the bait, body chunk. Far out of me. 15, 16 pound fish all day long, guys. Good looking fish right there. Nice blue cat. Look like he got a bite mark or something on the side of him. Been through it, I guess. I don't know. Let's get him back alive. Typical winter fishing. Not a lot of bites, but generally speaking, some better fish. That one took a piece of the cut bait. 2 out of 3 have come on chicken. That one took a piece of the cut bait. Typically in the winter, it slows down, but this early wintertime water, you know, before we get super cold, and our water temperature is only, what are we looking at, 54 degrees. It's not super cold yet. It has dropped some the past few days. We've had some overnight temperatures getting down into the 20s. Today it's only in the 40s. That's gonna pull that daily mean temperature down, and water's gonna drop. Those blues are gonna continue to feed. 50 degrees is, you know, a good temperature for them. Flat edge, you're gonna have a harder time. You'll pick off some channels. Generally, those channels are gonna be bigger channel cat. The smaller ones really slow down. But yeah, that's what we're trying. I put the chicken on today. The past few guide trips, I've been running nothing but big baits, and we've caught fish. But we're trying some chicken just to have some stuff out there to see if some of these fish are feeding on mussels in some of these areas. Like I said, we've got 2 out of 3 of them today on it, and we got that one on a bigger bait. It's good fishing. It's not great fishing. It's winter time. It's not windy, so the temperatures are very tolerable. It's a great time to get on the water if you can. And if you got big fish in your area, it's a good time to stick a big one. Guys, I think Pinky's got one going here outside planer. Reel down on her. Yep, hooked up. Ooh, take a little line. Eat a little line, baby. Made a run, went to a different location. Tried that area for a while. Got into some muddy water, which I don't think was that big of a deal. But I just wanted to try something different. Finally seen mud for the first time in months because we've had such clean water. No inflow, no rains, that's the reason. And there's probably some fish up there. I just did not want to anchor today. Not that you can't catch them dragging, but it seems like I do better anchoring whenever it's muddy. But anyway, I'm back in some clean water, making a pull through here, trolling into the wind, doing about a half a mile an hour. I've got birds around me. I've seen some cormorants. So we're gonna see what all's in here. I wanna say it's the chicken side of the boat. I decided to put all of one bait on one side. If for no other reason, I can check the bait. I usually check chicken more often than I do the cut bait. So knowing where they're at helps in doing that. This one's about to get into the other planer board. Let's see if it'll stay below it. We may be having a mess here in a minute. Get this board off. Poof, there we go. Beautiful day, it's winter time. It is cold today, it's in the 40s. But man, we don't have any wind killing us, which makes it really nice and very tolerable. There. Got a feeling this is going to be another double-digit fish. Probably a teener. Which makes for a very good day. Very good day of fishing. Any of you guys that bank fish, good time to be out. These fish are in shallow water different times of the day, and they're deep. All over the place with the fish. Boat, no boat, it don't matter. Early winter, good time to catch them. There he is. Boom, in the net. And yes, that is on chicken. You want fish in a net, you need chicken on the hook, Tyson chicken net cam. And boom, we got one going right there. That orange one just loaded up. Let's get this in the boat. Another fish in the teens. Yes, sir. Heck yes. As you can see, peg floats had the chicken. Good fish. Another teenage fish. Probably 14, 15 pounds. Clean, ain't got no mud on them. I'm digging that. And yes, we do have one on the other side. Let's get this one back alive. Outside planer board, orange one. Let's see if it stayed hooked up. It's a great thing about circle hooks. One of the reasons I like them, especially out here fishing alone, you don't have to jerk the hook every time it gets hit. Boom. He is there. Just felt him pull really good. This is the cut bait side of the boat. Not sure if this was a head or a body chunk. I got a feeling it's a perch body chunk. Believe that's what we had on the outside. That's the third fish on that outside rod holder. That first one, remember, was loose. Got it tightened up and it's loaded up good ever since. So tighten those things down. Off of there. Man, it's a good day of fishing. Good day of fishing. Good size to them. Good size to them. Like I said, it's not on fire. It kind of died down up there. It was about a fish every 45 minutes. So I made the move and boom, got 2 back to back. I'm calling that a good day for catching fish, guys. This one will probably be in the teens also. You remember the old days, I used to boga grip a lot of these fish. It's hard to do that out of this Lund. The high sides are so high on it. Double-edged sword, very safe from falling out. Bad part is it's hard to get back into and it's hard to hit the water. Let's get the old Tyson chicken net cam down there to get a shot of that one going in the net. Poof. Man, what a day. Sakes alive. Another one. 13. Good double-digit fish. Not a giant, but we'll take it. If you're trying to catch a big one like we caught earlier, it's nice to pass the time catching fish that size. Beautiful fish, fun to catch. I'm gonna put him back alive so y'all can catch him. See you, buddy. There you go, guys. 2 fish back to back, 2 nice ones. It was all double-digit fish today. I think it was an excellent test of the MulTbar rod holder just to see how it works. Drifting, I'm gonna have to try it out anchored up and see what the spread looks like on all this. I'll get to that. But the MulTbars, they're on it. I'm glad I put them on. I like the setup on them. If you can get them on your boat and they work on your style of boat, I think you'll like them too. Pretty happy with the setup. I'm not changing anything. I still got the toolbox with me. I got the wrenches. May leave it on here whenever I go out and anchor up to see how it works. But for now, very pleased with it. Good fishing, you know, good catching. Had a nice big fish to test the pull of them today, and they're very stiff the way I've got them set up and configured. So definitely stiffen up to set the hook in these fish and drive that circle hook in the corner of the mouth so we can get them in the boat and get a picture of them and get them back alive. All right, guys, the infamous reel in bite. I was just reeling stuff in to make a move to the house. End of the day here. As you can see, the sun's going down. Reeled one in, and I was reeling, I seen this rod take off. So I don't know what we got. I don't know when it ate this bait, and I don't know where it's at right now. Boom, there he goes. He knows he's hooked now. Looks like he made a run over here. Boom, we at least got it under that line. Looks like he's on that side of the boat. Let's just see here. There's this. Over this. Boom. What we got here? And then today with a decent fish. There's a giant, but we'll take him. There he is. Just went on a little journey while he was hooked. Dang, got him. What a day. What a day of catching fish. That one will not make the teens. He looks like he's going to be in about the 10-11 pound range. Good fish. Didn't quite make the teenager cut, but it's all right. Good healthy fish. Hit one of the bigger baits, and I'd made a move, run up just to try another place to see what was going on, and dragged it for a while. Wasn't really getting hit. Sun's going down. Had a good day. Figured I'd get out of here. I got to finish with this one.